Good afternoon, fellow YouTubers. Belchy94, another YouTube video. And today we're going to be looking at the Apple Keynote event, Australia. Well, not in Australia, obviously, but around the world. But we're going to share screen, Chrome tab, Apple Australia. And here we go. There it is on the screen. I'm just going to put a share link on YouTube very quickly, and then we'll get into the exciting event. I do apologize for it being very late. That's my apologies. I've been busy working and I've been exhausted, so I've got a day off today. So why not? Let's do a keynote today. So I'm going to share it, and I'm actually quite impressed. So we've got new MacBook Pros with the new chips, and these chips are pretty impressive, claiming of what they can do. And also, one thing is they've got there's two variants. You've got the M1 Pro and the M1 Max. And we'll get into the specifications, but if you thought the M1 is a very quick chip, a very solid chip. I've got an M1 Mac Mini, and I'm quite impressed with it, how it handles video editing. But these new processors are even faster than the M1, just a standard M1. So these machines are going to be bloody quick, and I mean quick. So we've got the MacBooks. They've got a slight redesign to them. This is probably the first redesign since the introduction in the late 2016 model. We've got new HomePods, and we've also got the AirPods, all new. So they pretty much got, it looks similar to the AirPod Pros, just without the tips. So anyway, what we're going to start off with is the MacBook. I'm guessing what everyone's dying to want to get into is the MacBook. So let's learn more. Then I can show the specifications. So two variants. They come in a 14 and a 16-inch variant. One thing you'll notice here, there is a notch, and you're going to ask, have they put Face ID into this? No, they haven't. It's a standard camera, but I'm assuming future upgrades, future designs, there is going to be, I'm assuming, FaceTime ID in these Macs. There's not much special space. It's supercharged for pros. So the most powerful MacBook Pro ever is here with the blasting fast M1 Pro and M1 Max chip. The first Apple Silicon design for pros. You get groundbreaking performance and amazing battery life. Add to that a stunning liquid retina XDR display, the best camera and audio ever in a MacBook, and all the ports you need. The first notebook of its kind, this MacBook Pro is a beast. It does have the XDR display, so instead of having to hook it up to the previous generation had to hook it up to an XDR monitor, these have it built into the screen. And they're breaking about how much. Listen, this is actually, they've gone back to the 2015 variant MacBook, which had the ports. Obviously, it doesn't have USB-A, but they brought back an HDMI port and the SD card reader and MagSafe. Brilliant. MagSafe, I actually quite enjoyed. So it's starting from almost $3,000. This is Australian price. It'll be different in America. And it'll be available from the 26th of October. So in about 4 days from now. As you can see it opening up, you'll notice the screen looks, see. Oh, the 16-inch doesn't have the notch. It's only the 14-inch. That 14-inch screen is tiny. So I'll scroll down a bit. So it says up to 13 times faster graphics performance and up to 3.7 times faster CPU performance. Up to 21 hours battery life and up to 11 times faster machine learning. So as you see here, we've got USB-C, SD card, HDMI, another two USB-C ports, headphone jack, and MagSafe. So they're the Pro to the Max. You've got the M1 Pro and the M1 Max. So these chips have up to a 10-core CPU, They both have 10 cores, so scary fast, scary faster. Up to 16 core GPU, which is pretty good. Up to 32 core GPU, so you can get up to 32 gig of unified memory, up to 64 gig of unified memory. That's on the Mac. That's the max one, and then the Pro one's up to 32. Up to 200 gig memory bandwidth and up to 400 gig memory bandwidth. That is quick. The M1 Pro and M1 Max scale the amazing M1 architecture to new heights. And for the first time, they bring a system on a chip SoC architecture to a Pro notebook. Both have more CPU cores, more GPU cores, and eight more unified memory than M1, along with a powerful neutral engine for supercharged machine learning and upgraded media engines with ProRes support. M1 Pro and M1 Max allow pros to do things they never could before. You can click the button and go inside and have a look. The M1 Pro scary fast. The M1 Pro takes the exceptional performance of the M1 architecture to a whole new level for Pro users. Even the most ambiguous projects are easily handled with up to 10 CPU cores, up to 16 GPU cores, a 16-core neuron engine, and dedicated encode and decode media engines that support H.264 HEVC and ProRes codecs. So up to 32 gig of unified memory, up to 16-core GPU, up to 200 gig memory bandwidth, support for 2 external displays, up to 20 streams of 4K ProRes video playback. Xcode on this, I believe this is the 16-inch variant. M1 scary fast. The M1 CPU is the most powerful chip ever created for a Pro notebook, with 10 CPU cores, up to 32 GPU cores, and a 16-core neuron engine. It delivers 2 times faster graphics processing and double the memory bandwidth of the M1 Pro. And it has a dedicated media engine for decode and 2 for encode, with up to 2 times faster video encoding and 2 ProRes accelerators with even higher multi-stream performance. So there's the bandwidth, up to 32 core GPU, up to 400 memory bandwidth, up to 7 streams of 8K ProRes video playback support for 4 external displays, and up to 64 gig of unified memory. There you go. That looks like an edit in Final Cut Pro. Choose your size, choose your chip, let it rip. So you got Final Cut Pro on the 16-inch, and the 14-inch has Logic Pro. New MacBook Pro is available in the 14 and 16-inch models. Each can be configured with the M1 Pro or M1 Max chip and offer unpresentable levels of performance, so you can manipulate millions of polygons in Cinema 4D, edit up to 7 times of 8K ProRes video in Final Cut Pro, or grade color in HDR on 8K 4x4 ProRes videos, all hours away from the edit bay. So here's some performance here. So Xcode, you can do, this is the Xcode performance faster build. So the 14-inch model on the left, 16-inch model on the right. So you've got an M1 with 10-core CPU, it's 3.7 times faster. And the M1 Max with a 10-core CPU, 2.1% faster. They're comparing, so this is getting compared to an 8-core Intel Core i9 16-inch MacBook Pro, so the previous generation, and the quad-core Intel Core i7 13-inch MacBook Pro, which is, I think, 2 generations ago. I don't know if they're still selling a 13-inch MacBook Pro with Intel. I'm assuming they might. So I know I was on Apple website the other day, and they're still selling Mac Minis with Intel. So M1 Pro with a 10-core GPU, with the 10-core CPU, sorry, it's still the same. Pretty much the percentages are the same, no difference. So Nestle to USS, I have no idea what the software is. Faster complication, fluid dynamics performance. So with the M1 Max, it's on the 14-inch, it's 2.8% faster than a quad-core Intel Core i7, and 3% faster with an 8-core Intel Core i9. Logic Pro, the 14-inch variant here. So this is compared to a quad-core Intel Core i7 CPU, so up to 3% faster. And this is the 8-core Intel Core i9 CPU for the 16-inch, which is both at 1.7 times faster. So you won't notice a big difference here with the 16-inch model over the previous Gen 8-core Intel Core i9 model. VictorWorks. So on paper, it might not look like, if you've got the previous Intel model and you're happy with it, probably just, is it worth an upgrade? Probably not, because it's not huge increases. Like there's increases, but you might not think, no, it's not really worth. I'm pretty happy with what I've got. So the 14-inch model is, and these are again compared to a quad-core i7 for the 14-inch and an 8-core Intel Core i9. So 2.1% faster on the 14-inch, and the same with the 16-inch with 2.1% faster. Affinity Photo. Now this is where it's quite interesting. So you get over double the performance on the 14-inch of 2.4%, but only 1.7% on the 16-inch model. So interesting. So here's the now this is the GPU performance. So Final Cut Pro. So faster 4K render speeds, the 14-inch model. This is huge. This is probably what you're very interested in, because the 13-inch MacBook Pro is using the Intel Iris Plus graphics, so integrated graphics. So with the 32, so the M1 Max with the 32 gig core GPU is 13.4% faster. That is quick. I mean, you're getting a huge percentage difference right there if you get that chip. Huge. So it's sort of rendering very quickly. And the M1 Pro, the 16-core GPU, 9.2% faster. And it's still even though that's not the most powerful chip there, that is still a huge difference over the previous Intel Iris Plus graphics. Huge difference. And I think this is probably where the selling point is on these machines. It's not actually the CPU performance, but the GPU performance. You're going to get bigger, lots of speed, especially on the 14-inch variant, if you're upgrading from an older 13-inch MacBook Pro. And I think a lot of people will get the 14-inch just because it's smaller and you can easier to carry around, especially if you're editing, especially in Australia. If you're on the train, I do a lot of transporting, so I do a bit of video editing when I'm out and about on the iPad. And my iPad's an old iPad, 9.7-inch with the A9, the A9X chip, and it does it all right, but it is, you can tell it is slower. But this would be quick. And you get faster 8% render speed. This is the 16-inch. So you get the M1 Max with 32 gig GPU, 2.9% faster. So not a huge increase, decent increase, but not as huge as the 14-inch. And the M1 Pro, the 16-core, is 1.7%. So that's compared with a 16-inch MacBook Pro with Radeon Pro 5600M and 8GB HBM2. So Maxon Cinema 4D. So real-time 3D performance, the M1 Max 32 core with 32 core GPU is 4.1% faster, and the M1 Pro with the 16 core GPU is 3.6% faster. And the render with Redshift, this is on the 16-inch variant. So the M1 Max with the 32 core GPU is 4% faster, and the M1 Pro with the 16-core GPU is 2.5% faster. So if you get the machine with the Max, the M1 Max, you'll notice a huge increase in this application. So Blackmagic Davinci Resolve Studio, which is a Unix-based program. The 14-inch variant has, with the M1 Max with 32 gig core, is 5% faster. I'm noticing huge increases, especially on the 14-inch model, like improvements. And I think this is going to be a very popular buy, this 14-inch model here, guys. I can see it being very popular over the 16-inch. Yes, the 16-inch is a bigger screen, but for portability, I can see the 14-inch, and you're getting decent specs with it. So I my opinion is I think the 14-inch is going to be probably the seller, probably the best-selling MacBook out of the two, MacBook Pro out of the two. And I'm happy to admit I'm wrong, but just with this performance, it's a huge increase over the previous generation, the previous Intel generation. I was curious if they were going to compare the 14-inch with the previous M1 MacBook Pro, but obviously they're just doing Intel. So you're not going to get huge jumps in performance with the 16-inch variant. 32 gig is 1.9% faster, and the M1 Pro with 16 cores 1.4. Adobe Photoshop. So not a huge increase, but decent. So the 14-inch again with the biggest improvement is with faster GPU performance is the M1 Max is 3.5%, the M1 Pro with 3.3%. So in this, if you're using Photoshop, you might be better off getting an M1 Pro. But if you're going to do high detail, a lot of high visual editing, obviously you're going to get the Max with the better GPU, obviously. You can get the M1 Max 2 gig core GPU, it's 2.1. Then there's no really much difference here either, like minimal difference. With either one you're still going to get decent performance. Affinity Photo. Now, this is a big jump, 14-inch, huge. So the M1 Max with the 13 gig core GPU is 8.5% faster, and the M1 Pro is 5.6. If you get that, see, again, this is proof. Looking at the statistics here, there's a huge improvement over the 14-inch is going to probably be the selling MacBook Pro. 32 gig core GPU 4.5 with the M1 Pro 16 core is 2.9%. We can do this all day. So there's Adobe Photoshop Lightroom. Just look at that display. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Stunning. And they got rid of the MacBook Pro name there. Apparently it's on the back of the computer. Ferocious performance with game-changing battery life and efficiency is the magic of Apple Silicon. A single change lets you compile up to 4 times as much code in Xcode or edit images for twice as long in Lightroom Classic. Unlike other notebooks, MacBook Pro delivers the same amazing performance whether it's plugged in or not. So 14-inch variant is 17 hours of video playback with 11 hours of wireless web browsing. The 16-inch variant will have 21 hours of video playback and 14 hours of wireless web browsing. So obviously the 16-inch is going to have better battery because it's obviously bigger. So the coolest part is advanced thermal system moves 50% more air even at lower fan speeds, and thanks to the efficiency of Apple Silicon, the fans never turn on for many tasks you do every day. Yeah, the fast and vast. Get jaw-dropping read speeds from the up to 8 terabyte SSD up to 7.4 gigs of 2 times the previous generation, so you can open 8K video instantly or store hundreds of thousands of raw photos at once. So 7.4 gigabyte storage, SSD storage. Feast your eyes on XDR. So that's a display. So this is designed Davinci Resolve. Probably the better application to use if you're using a Linux system. So you got Liquid Retina XDR, the best display ever in a notebook, features extreme dynamic range and a 1 million to 1 contrast ratio. HDR content comes to life in photos, videos, games, with redefined spectacular highlights, incredible detail in shadows, and vibrant, true-to-life colors. Each display is factory calibrated and features pro reference modes for HDR color grading, photography, design, and print production. ProMotion. ProMotion comes to Mac for the first time, making everything from scrolling through a web page to gaming incredibly fluid and responsive, while also reducing power consumption. With the refresh rates of up to 120 Hz, The adaptive technology automatically adjusts to match the movement of the content. Promotion video editors can also choose a fixed refresh rate that precisely aligns with their footage. There's a screen technology. We'll have a look. So, sorry, I'll get it in the right. Display enclosed less than 4 millimeters thin. It provides the structure of the world's best notebook display. Mini LEDs. Thousands of mini LEDs are grouped into individually controlled local dimming zones for precise brightness and contrast. Custom engineers optical films and diffusers. Several films and diffusers mix and shape the light effectively while enabling an ultra-thin design. High mobility oxide TFT. The oxide thin film transistor TFT allows pixels to change 2 times faster than before, enabling refresh rates of up to 120 Hz. So 1000 nits sustained brightness, 1600 nits peak brightness, 10,000 mini LEDs. Contrast ratio is 1,000,000 to 1. Colors is 1 billion trillion. 6.2 inch and 14.2 inch. So 16.2 inch is 3,456 by 2,234, 7.7 million pixels at 204 ppi. 14.2 is 3,024 by 1,964, 5.9 million pixels at 254 ppi. Heads up, the best camera, 1080p HD. Staying connected is more important than ever. That's why the new MacBook Pro camera has double the resolution, 1080p, uses a lens with a wider aperture that lets in more light, together with a large image sensor that has more effective pixels. The camera delivers 2 times better low light performance. 3 studio quality mics. Thanks to the mics with an up to 60% lower noise floor, MacBook Pro can capture even the sublet sounds, and the 3 microwave uses directional beamforming, so your voice always comes through loud and clear. 6 speaker sound system. 4 force cancellating woofers reveal notes up to half octave deeper and fill the room with up to 80% more bass, and the high performance tweeters project clearer and fuller vocals. Spatial audio. Thanks to the room fulfilling 6 speaker system and advanced algorithms, the MacBook Pro supports spatial audio when playing music or video with Adobe Atmos, creating a sophisticated 3-dimensional soundstage. Combine that with the Liquid Retina XDR display, and it's like having a portable cinema. It's got, and it also doesn't have the touch bar. Decent sized keyboard. More plugged in than ever. Transfer photos and videos with an SDXC card reader. Connect to TVs or displays with HDMI out. Listen using a 3.5mm headphone jack that detects and automatically adjusts for high independence headphones. Connect to high-speed peripherals or display with 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports and fast charge using the quick release MagSafe 3 port. As you can see here, the ports, MagSafe. More pixels than ever. Connect to up to 3 Pro Display XDRs and a 4K TV with the M1 Max, or connect up to 2 Pro Display XDRs with the M1 Pro. Pro Power meets Pro Keyboard. For the first time, the Magic Keyboard brings a full function keyboard to the MacBook Pro with the tactile feel of mechanical keys that proves love. It includes a new keyboard shortcuts for Spotlight, Siri, dictation, and Do Not Disturb. And Touch ID has a new tactile ring that guides your finger for a fast, easy, secure way to unlock your Mac. macOS Monterey, if I've probably butchered that, and Apple Silicon Beauty and the Beast. Use a single keyboard and mouse or trackpad to work seamlessly between your Mac and iPad with universal control. Automate complex tasks with shortcuts, share your screen, watch together, or collaborate with FaceTime and browse with the best Safari yet. When it's time to concentrate, focus, let you control which people and apps it can reach you. Pro apps and unleashed by M1 Pro and M1 Max. Over 10,000 apps and plugins are already available, optimized for Apple Silicon, and Rosetta 2 seamlessly transition apps designed for Intel processors for use on your new MacBook Pro. So you got photo editing, graphic design, 3D rendering, audio production, video editing, software development, and so mathematics, and it works with all that. You can use the AR app on your iPhone, so they come in space gray or silver. So it's designed to, it's more environment friendly, and you can get credit towards your new Mac, and you can explore. So look at the tech specs. So you can choose a 14-inch, come in the two colors there. So the price starts at $2,000. So about $3,000 for the base model, which is an M1 Pro chip with 8-core CPU with 6 performance cores, 14-core GPU, 16-core neutral engine with 200 gig of memory bandwidth, and that has, you can configure it to all that. And the memory comes with 16 gig as standard, but you can configure it to that. And then there's the 3749, which is another Pro chip with the 16-core, blah, blah, blah. The 16-inch, you got three variants. So they've got the M1, the 2 Pro models, and the Max. So it starts at 3749 with a 10-core GPU, 16-core GPU. You can configure it, and that's the RAM. You can also, that's what it comes with. You can configure it to, that's what it's configurable to. So what we're going to do is we'll go and build a system. We'll go to order. I'm not going to buy one, obviously, but give you an idea of what you're paying. So still selling the 14-inch. So this is the base model here. It starts at $299. So we'll select this one. So that's what you're going to get as standard. So for an extra $300, you can add the M1 Pro with the 14 core, which I don't get. It's the same one here. Oh, that's an 8-core CPU, so that's a base model. You can get an extra 2 cores for $300. For an extra $450, you can get the 16-core, or you can get a 24-core M1 Max for an extra $750, and then for an extra $1,050, you can get the 32 core GPU memory. You can only get this if you select the Max, and it's an extra $1,200, but an extra $600 for 32. Storage is where it's going to get very pricey because it comes with 512%. And see, if I was ordering, because I usually have portable hard drives carrying around and stuff, I'd be happy with the 512 gig. But people are different, so you can for an extra $300 you can get a terabyte, extra $900 you can get 2 terabyte, extra $1,800 4 terabyte, and extra $3,600 is 8 terabyte. So this is the 14-inch. We'll go back and we'll do the 16-inch. So you get 3 options to choose. So we'll start with the base model, 3749, and so that's what it comes with as standard, the 16 gig. So this one, you get the M1 Pro 10 core, you can get the M1 Max 24 core, which is an extra $300, or the M1 Max 32 core GPU. So all you're getting is upgraded GPU performance. That's an extra $600. The memory will be 16 gig, as standard, but you can upgrade a 32 gig for 600 or 64 for another 1200, and your storage is the same as previous. So if you want to change it to a terabyte, it's 300, 2 terabytes 900, 4 terabytes 1800, and 8 terabyte is 3600. You can add software to it, whatever you like. So that's the MacBook Pro. What would I recommend? Depends. Depends on what you're using it for. If you're not doing like really heavy-handed, you probably be happy with a base model configuration. Maybe get the high GPU, low storage. Maybe you want 30. If you want a future-proof, you might want to get the 32 or 64 gig variant. Anyway, but we'll look at the. So that's available on the 26. So same with this AirPods, and the new Spatial Audio is available on 26, so we'll learn more. So these are the 3rd generation Apple AirPods, all new with Spatial Audio. It's Magic Remastered with Spatial Audio that places sound all around you. So that's what it was in the AirPods Pro, which are finally coming to these AirPods. Adaptive EQ that tunes music to your ears. It's used the same case as the Pro. Longer battery life that charges up in a flash. It shrugs off sweat and sprinkles. Delivers an experience that's simply magical. Taking sound in totally new directions. More music on more personal note. Adaptive EQ automatically tunes music to the shape of your ear. Inward-facing microphones detect what you're hearing, then adjust low and mid-range frequencies to deliver the rich details in every song, customized for you in real time. Blast hits an all-time high. An Apple-designed dynamic driver powered by a custom-engineered amplifier renders music in exceptionally detailed sound quality, so you can reveal every tone from deep, rich bass to crisp, clean heights. Mute the breeze. Covered in a special acoustic mesh, an inset microphone, and each earbud minimizes wind noise when you're on a call, so your voice is always heard loud and clear. You heard it here first. HD voice quality for FaceTime. Connect on a FaceTime in crisp HD quality with the new AAC ELD speech codec, and with support for spatial audio, group FaceTime calls sound more true to life than ever. Style from ear to ear with a contour design and shorter stem. AirPods are designed to direct sound into your ears in a redefined look anyone can appreciate. Pinch perfect control. The Force sensor gives you more control over your entertainment. You can press to play, pause, skip through songs, and answer and end calls. Both AirPods and the MagSafe charging case are rated at IPX4 sweat and water resistant, so they will withstand anything from rain to heavy workouts. A case full of energy wirelessly and effortlessly recharge the MagSafe charging case on a MagSafe charger. Fully loaded, the case can give you up to 30 hours of total listening time, and charging your AirPods in the case for just 5 minutes can generate an hour of listening time. Up to 6 hours of listening time with one charge, and up to 30 hours of total listening time with the case. Instant connection. Place AirPods near your iPhone or iPad and tap connect to pair with every device in your iCloud account. If you're playing music on your Mac, you'll be able to answer a call on your iPhone and switch without having to switch devices. Great sense of detection. Enhanced skin detection sensor knows the difference between your ear and other surfaces, so audio only plays when you're wearing AirPods and pauses when they're in your pocket or on a table. Hey Siri, when's my next meeting? Oh, always on. Hey Siri, play music, make calls. You'll need to make calls and get directions or check your schedule. Simply by using your voice, just say, "Hey Siri," to activate your favorite personal assistant and stay on top of everyday tasks. New message from Lisa. Would you like to reply? Announce notifications. Siri can read your important messages or alerts to you as they arrive. And you can even even reply to messages with just your voice. Sally's AirPods. Enhance Find My. Track down your AirPods with the Find My app. See how close they are with proximity view. Get separation alerts. And if you're out of Bluetooth range, or have them play a sound so you can locate them. Audio sharing. Easily share a song between two sets of AirPods. Simply bring AirPods near the iPhone or iPad or Apple TV you're listening to and connect instantly. And you can use AR and you can get them custom. Tech specs. So Spatial, there's your sensors. Uses a H1 headphone chip. Press once to play, pause, or answer a phone call. Press twice to skip forward. Press 3 times to skip back. Press and hold for Siri or say, "Hey Siri." There's your size and weight ratio, including the case. There's your information there. Bluetooth 5. It comes with the Lightning to USB-C cable. That's all the phones that it supports. All the iPads it supports. Apple Watch models it supports. Apple TV. And all the Mac models. And that's how we'll have a look. And they cost $279. An accessory. And if you're in Australia, you can actually probably get them through, if you get a phone plan through Optus or Telstra or Vodafone, whoever you go with. They'll offer this as an accessory similar to what you can get it with an Apple Watch. So the new Homepod Mini. So yellow, orange, and blue available in November. So these are going to be available next month. We'll learn more. We'll have a quick look. So the Mini, you got a white, a blue, an orange, a yellow, and a black. You never heard color like this. Room-filling sound. Intelligent assistants. Control your smart home. Work seamlessly with iPhone. Private and secure. They're 5 bold colors at $149 each. Sound nothing short of amazing. Jam-packed with innovation, the HomePod Mini delivers unexpectedly big sound for a speaker of its size. At just under 8.5 centimeters tall, it takes up almost no space, but fills the entire room with rich 360-degree audio that sounds amazingly from every angle, and more than one HomePod Mini for truly expansive sound. Boundary-pushing compuntional audio creates the full detailed tones of a much larger speaker, and the HomePod Mini turns it up without missing your voice commands. HomePod Mini is designed to fit anywhere in the house. Its elegant shape is wrapped in a perfectly seamless mesh that is virtually transparent to the sound passing through it. A backlit touch surface on the top provides quick control. With multiple HomePod Mini speakers placed around your house, you can have a connected sound system for your whole home. Ask Siri to play one song everywhere, or just as easily a different song in each room. Having powerful audio everywhere in the house couldn't be much simpler, and each HomePod Mini gives you the total control no matter where you are. HomePod Mini also works with your Apple devices for features like intercom, letting you quickly communicate by voice. Picking up incoming calls from your iPhone, kick back with your favorite show on Apple TV, listen to your music on your Mac. HomePod Mini works effortlessly with all your Apple devices and experiences to take your sound to the next level. You can even create a stereo pair, 2 HomePod Mini speakers paired in the same room to create left and right channels for fully immersive audio. Enjoying a music or podcast? You have to head out. You can continue to listen to your iPhone without missing a beat. Simply hand it off by bringing your iPhone close to the HomePod Mini, and your experience is the feeling of the iPhone and HomePod Mini connecting virtually as the sound transfers. Personalized listening suggestions will also automatically appear on your iPhone when you hold it next to the HomePod Mini. You have instant control over your fingertips without having to unlock your phone. Intelligent Assistant Siri does everything like there is nothing to do. Siri is your do-it-all intelligent assistant that put HomePod Mini at the center of your family's activities. And with multiple HomePod Mini speakers around the house, it's easily to call on Siri from anywhere. HomePod Mini and Siri can do more by seamlessly connecting to your iPhone, and coming soon, Apple Music Voices gives you access to every song in the catalog with all of just your voice. Hey Siri, play pop hits in the bedroom. Listen to tracks, artists, albums, and genre or lyrics. Hey Siri, play a Hamish and Andy. Listen to Apple Podcasts and radio stations. We don't want Siri to do that. Hey Siri, how many millimeters are in a cup? Convert units and measurements.
Okay, I found this on the web for how many millimeters are in a cup. Convert units of measure. Check it out.
Hey Siri, add flour to the shopping list.
All right, I've added it to your shopping list.
You can hear the iPhone doing it in the background. Hey Siri, how long would it take me to get to the airport? Get information of your location, and we'll ignore that. Directions. Hey Siri, find my keys. Locate your devices or
find anything called keys set up in Find My.
Yeah, that's all right with a ping. Hey Siri, text Megan, I'm about to leave. Send and receive messages and make or take phone calls.
I'm sorry.
Hey Siri, close the blinds at 8 p.m. Control smart home accessories like lights and blinds. Hey Siri, it's movie night. Create scenes that control multiple devices simultaneously with a single phrase.
Matching night. The night. Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Hey Siri, recognize him, her, and them.
Do you want to hear the next five?
So, as you can see here, Siri can recognize voices up to 6 different family members on HomePod Mini and create a personalized experience for each person. So the music Dad hears when he asks for something he really likes is totally different from what the kids hear when they ask. And with personal requests, Siri can recognize a particular voice and relay the person's information from iPhone apps like Messages, Calendar, Reminders, Contacts, and of course, HomePod Mini keeps your information private and secure. Intercom spreads the word. With more than one HomePod Mini in your house, you can easily communicate with your family members via voice using Intercom. Ask Siri to send a message to the whole house or individual rooms, and everyone can easily respond. Hey Siri, intercom to the lounge room. Hey Siri, tell everyone dinner's ready. So you got bedroom.
To do that, you need to first be added as a member in the home settings of your home app.
Hey Siri, announce on my way home. Want me to pick up anything? Intercom also works with your other Apple devices, so you can send and receive messages with CarPlay while you're driving, with your AirPods during a workout, or with your Apple Watch when you're running errands. Smart home, easy to connect, simple to control. When you already have a smart home or you're buying your first smart device, getting set up and staying connected from anywhere is a breeze with the Home app and HomePod Mini. When you set up HomePod Mini, it automatically adds to the Home app, and with just your voice, you can instantly control any of the HomeKit devices. HomePod Mini can also act as a home hub, letting you control your HomeKit accessories remotely. Whenever you go, you can see a live view from the front door, shut your garage, and lock or unlock the house through the Home app. Looking to learn more about the benefits of a smart home? The Discover tab in the Home app is the best place to find what's possible. Get recommendations on top related accessories that work with HomePod Mini. Connect to the Apple Store app for additional details and effortless shopping. Private and secure, a speaker that protects your right to privacy. Privacy is essential, especially in your own home. HomePod Mini is designed to keep your personal information safe and be trusted assistant in your family everyday life. Hey Siri, hey Siri, hey Siri. HomePod only listens for Hey Siri. You can speak freely, knowing anything you say is sent out of your home until you activate Siri with a touch, or HomePod Mini hears the magic words Hey Siri. When you ask Siri something, your request is associated with a random identifier, not your Apple ID. Oak Street. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't be reading that. With HomeKit secure video support, HomePod Mini can analyze the feeds of your supported video cameras and detect the presence of people and recognize familiar faces, pets, and cars. All video processing is done on the device before it's sent to iCloud with end-to-end encrypted, so your recordings can only be seen by you and other people you share with them, not Apple. Homepod Mini works with your iPhone for requests like hearing your messages or notes, so you're completed on your devices without revealing that information to Apple. You can use the AR to see the size of it. You got the text specs here, so you can choose the color you want. That's the size. That's the features it can do, the audio technology, audio sources, touch controls, what they do, accessibility, wireless, system requirements, electrical and environmentally requirements in the box, documentation, compatibility, what phones it supports, and shop, and that's how much, this will be how much it cost. So they're a new color. So it originally came in white and space gray, but they've added blue, orange, yellow. So yeah, so that's that event, the October event. But I was pretty excited for the MacBook Pro. I thought it was pretty cool, and I still think the 14 inches is probably the popular one out of the two. And yeah, but anyway, stop sharing this. I'm gonna say farewell, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye for now, and I'll see you in the next video.